It's dark here, eh? I don't have any lights on. I should put lights on, but it's outside. I just wanted to come on and show you a book. Sometimes I did videos like this a while ago, but nobody paid any attention to them. Didn't get that many views. And it was called The Book I Read This Week. Could be a couple still left on my channel, but some of them I got rid of. Nobody read them, nobody read them, nobody looked at them. But this book I got for Christmas. Oh, is it? You see it? Hopefully it shows up. Jack Kirby, King of Comics, by Mark Evener. So much good stuff. A very interesting book. Boy Commandos. Of course, the Sandman. Big Barda. But anyway, not to make this video that long, but if you haven't got this book or read it or anything like that, and if you like Marvel Comics or Marvel Comics in general, right? You know, and you like Jack Kirby, starts off when he was very young, trying to get a job, tells about his marriage, his kids, all the way to the comic books with Joe Simon, and working for Marvel and DC and back to Marvel, and started up and back in the early 60s when Stan Lee was almost out of a job and they were almost out of the business of selling comics, and he had nothing to lose. So he made a comic book called The Fantastic Four. Something that he was familiar with, except for had something to do with superheroes and monsters and stuff. So they put them both together, and they ended up with the Fantastic Four. They weren't even sure if they were going to make another issue. They just threw it out there on the newsstands. The thing is, they found out a few months later it was a hit. Kids were buying it. But anyway, Kirby, King of Comics. And just for that, I'm going to show you some other ones. Something more than I'm going to read that I like reading. The kind of stuff that I read all the time. There's not a day that goes by that I don't read. Here's one here. A Marvelous Life, Stan Lee. A Marvelous Life, the amazing story of Stan Lee, Danny Fingeroff. Now that name sounds familiar too for some reason. 2019. So this book just came out within the last November 2019, yeah, first edition. Haven't read this one yet, of course, but you know, it's on the agenda. So there's another good book right here. I was searching for another one when I sent away for these or ordered these, and it was sold out, so I missed out on that one. I don't know, I'll get another chance at it, but anyway, I can't remember the name, but it was another book about Stan Lee. So there's that one. This is a thin little book. See, it's not, you know, that many pages. But of course, this has to do with Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Two young boys went to school together in Cleveland, right? And the creators of Superman celebrate Superman's 75th anniversary. Everybody, most of these know Superman. So, and Joe Shuster if I remember correctly, he was Canadian. Yeah, a lot of books and things don't mention that Joe Shuster was Canadian from Toronto. Pretty sure it's Toronto. Anyway, well, you can all correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being corrected. But anyway, most of the time I'm right. See? One Saved Lives in the Jungle, of course, Tarzan. One Saved Lives in Space, Buck Rogers. And the other one was Our Saved Lives in the Future, Flash Gordon or something like that. Yeah, Tarzan, Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers. They liked those guys. Of course, who didn't? Yep, who didn't? And we all like that. And here's one here too. This has nothing to do with superheroes, but Michael Caine, blowing the bloody doors off. Michael Caine. (2018). So yeah, I heard about this book a while ago. So I came across it and I said, yeah, I'll buy that book. And when I'm done this book, I'm going to pass it on to my buddy Rick. Yeah, Rick likes Michael Caine too. So I'm going to pass it on to him and he'll read it. Then there's this book here. This has to do about comic books. This is somebody's granddaughter. And the granddaughter is of Joe Simon. You know, Simon and Kirby? The two that put Captain America on comic book land, right? Yeah, the war came out and they needed somebody to kick the shit out of Hitler, so they invented Captain America. And then Captain America got his little buddy, Bucky, right? Bucky came across Steve Rogers changing out of his costume and putting his, or changing out of his costume into the Captain America costume. Yeah, you know, through the tent, right? So yeah, so he got Bucky and taught Bucky how to fight and stuff like that. And that's how come we got Captain America and Bucky. So this is a book called My Captain America, and it's by a lady by the name of Megan Margulis. That's Joe Simon's granddaughter. And this book came out in, let's see, this book came out in 2020, basically last year. I haven't read this one yet either, but now all these kind of books about artists and writers, comic book people, right? I find them interesting. It's nice to look back on people's stories and tell them about their grandfathers, their fathers, or anything in that matter, right? So this more than likely be a very interesting read. So it's a granddaughter telling about stories about her grandfather. So I came across this and I went, yeah, I'll take that one too. And final, I came across this one too, and with orders from these books. I got, like I said, I got Jack Kirby book for Christmas. Then I looked up some other books where my daughter got the Jack Kirby book, and I came across these, so I ordered these. Kelly got them for me. Of course, Kelly ordered them for me, and I gave Kelly back the money, and they ended up upstairs at Kelly's place, and she brought them down to me. This is one here. Look at this one. That's a read, eh? And it doesn't have that many pictures in it. Jimmy Stewart, A Wonderful Life, U.S. Today. Jimmy Stewart, a biography. Mark Elliott, best-selling author of Gary Grant. I don't know if that's a Gary Grant one that I read down. I can't remember. But I read a book about Gary Grant, but I don't know if it's by the same guy. And when did this book come out? Oh, this book came out in 2006, I think. 2006? Yeah, it looks like 2006. First paperback edition. So this is a 2006 book, but yeah, it's pretty thick. I'm just doing this video on time. It's getting dark in here now, but see? Jimmy Stewart. Well, anyway, these will keep me busy. So, there you go. So, I just wanted to show you that. I usually don't make videos like that anymore, talking about books or I read or anything like that, because most people don't watch them. Not interested. So, but I couldn't pass up this video talking about the Christmas book I got, Jack Kirby. I just want to let you know it's out there, and it's a really good book, especially if you like comic books and history of the comic books and stuff. Yeah. And Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, yeah, it's quite the story. Stan Lee, you know, there's always stuff about Stan Lee, and I know the stuff about Jack Kirby. And there's stories about Jack Kirby, maybe his family might get in on some of the money, because Jack Kirby did, you know, did do some, work, or, you know, thought up things about the characters of, you know, Sergeant Fury, of course, and, you know, the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, and, you know, character-driven artwork and artists and concepts. And so his family deserves some money from this $1 billion, you know, $1 billion they make on all these movies, and they're using Stan Lee's characters and Jack Kirby's character. So Kirby's family deserves a cut of the pie, if you get my drift. Yeah, so anyway, peace. Stay safe.